What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, known as off DFX, here to bring you guys some prop plays. A little bit different of a video for the morning. Gonna give you guys the prop plays. I will still have my DFS breakdown for you guys later on today, but I know you guys have been asking me to do props. Everyone loves prize picks, underdogs, whatever. So we're gonna go over a couple of plays. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content I do drop over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money. Now for the weekend, definitely was up and down in regards to profit on DFS sites and also on Prizepicks, Underdog, DraftKings, and FanDuel for making parlays and things like that. But we're going to keep the good times rolling. Definitely, though, I will say, if you guys are not subbed to the Patreon and you guys are looking for someone who actually covers the women college sports and things like that, check out my boy BK over here. The GOAT. When it comes down to covering women's sports and things like that, I would definitely highly suggest you check it out. He has been killing over here covering women's basketball so far this season. Also as well, he drops his NFL and his NBA plays and also his NHL plays as well. So definitely check that out if you guys have not. If you guys are looking for someone else that covers that content, things like that, we only charge $5 over here. So definitely make sure you guys go ahead. Check the link down in the description below so you guys can go ahead and join up. But we do have some pretty good value over here for the stuff that we do offer, and it's only $5. And we're only going to be pumping out more stuff for you guys just because we want it to be affordable. We understand we have day-to-day jobs and stuff like that as well, but this is a hobby. This is also what we like to do. And just like you, I don't like to lose money. We also try to make sure we're putting out good stuff for you guys, bankroll management, things like that, for you guys to go ahead and make some money as well. With all the research and everything that we do, not gonna lie to you guys, might as well get paid for the stuff that you are sitting here doing, especially when you are one of the few people that actually cover some of this stuff. And also on top of that, you actually know what it is that you're looking for and what you're looking at. So focusing on Prizepicks, that's going to be the site. If you guys don't got a Prizepicks account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys can go ahead and get that deposit match bonus and join up on Prizepicks. Going to be using Outlier, going to be using Line Star, and going to be using a new site, Prop Madness, to go over a couple of prop plays that I have looked through and found that I feel have some very good potential today on Monday for us to go ahead and actually cash out. Now, Outlier, if you guys don't have the Outlier account, you guys are probably tired of me saying this, check the link down in the description below so you guys can go ahead and sign up for Outlier. I definitely get a 7-day free trial to use it. It's one of those prop sites. Of course, if you guys watch my parlay building video for the strategy that I use to go ahead and build my bankroll builders and things like that over there, you guys already know about Outlier. And if you guys don't, it's similar to prop.cash if you guys use that instead. But some of the features that they have over here, I really do love, especially this insight tab. When you first open up the site, boom, it smacks you in the face. Insight. Hey, check this out. Jonathan Kuminga has exceeded 19.5 points in 4 out of his last 5 home games. Home games, of course, is the biggest thing. He's averaging 22.8 points in those games. Maybe you want to take a little bit deeper look into that, and you were already considering and looking at him as a possible play for today. Now, I've already gone through, I've played with the filters, I've gone through everything. You guys know I focus on points, rebounds, assists, PRA, things like that. And I've already found a couple of the plays that I do like that I am going to post and put out for you guys. So first play that I'm going to go over, again, Kuminga looks great. Don't mind that at all. Shaden Sharp, I like him. Has been playing very well over his last several games. Looks like he might have been that potential pick, which kind of wish my Thunder would have actually picked him up. The athleticism and everything the kid has. But we're going to go over to his buddy over here in DeAndre Ayton. Matchup going up against Joel Embiid. If Joel is actually in, if not, might be Andre Drummond with his stub toe. Either way, DeAndre Ayton, decent matchup going up against Philly. They are ranked 10th versus opposing centers, giving up 16.9 points to them. But hey, that 16.9 is more than the 14.5 line that we are currently getting DeAndre Ayton at. And of course, that insight that we were looking at, he has exceeded 14.5 points in 5 out of his last 6 home games. As we can see down here, looking down, he's hitting 21, 18, 15, missed it with 6 versus Utah, 18 and 26 again. All of these are decent matchups. Dallas with those 2 bigs that they have in Lively, Gafford, Utah versus Walker Kessler, John Collins, Rory Larkin, and all those guys over there versus the Denver Nuggets versus Big Joker himself. He went out there, smashed that. Utah didn't do too well in that game, but he only played 17.4 minutes in that game. So those minutes were down. I'm not even going to fault him for that. That one, I'm going to toss it out the window. Versus Dallas, again, 18 points in that one right there. And then last but not least, Sacramento Kings. Honestly, if you're a little bit bigger than Sabonis, you can actually go out there and have a decent shooting night. So all those key factors right there, they check out. Head-to-head, he's gone with this 1 out of the 2 games since he's been on the Portland Trailblazers. Honestly, I toss head-to-head out the window because year by year, stuff changes typically for this team. Over his last 10 games, and this is not including his home, well, not focusing specifically on his home games, but over his last 10 games, he has hit this in 7 out of those 10 games right there, with the hook being versus the San Antonio Spurs, going up against Big Wemby. Of course, you understand that. A lot of his points come within the paint in the restricted area down there, so kind of makes sense right there. And then Los Angeles Raptors, Lakers, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, all those bigs that they actually have. Another team I definitely understand missing that, hooked it right there in both those games. So again, right there to go over that 14.5 line. Now going over to what I do in regards to, hey, I have a really good play, I like it. Let me get a projection. Let me get a sense of what are the books thinking that his line should be at. What is a projection site telling me that it possibly should be at. Now again, you don't have to pay for LineStar, but it is just a site that I use, again, because I cover DFS. I use something to go ahead and give me a DVP metrics and things like that. So I already have it. I will use their projections and things like that just because I'm paying for it. Might as well go ahead and use it. So coming down here, looking at DeAndre Ayton, LineStar has him projected for 17.2 points. Vegas, the consensus odds between Underdog, Prizepicks, DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, or whatever other sites, that they have up here. They have him projected currently at 16.68, the consensus for all those books. All these things are pointing to green lights for me to go ahead and take them. Now, maybe you're still a little bit like, I'm on the fence. Do I really want to take Ayton versus Joel Embiid? That just seems like foul trouble waiting to happen. Using this site right here, Prop Madness. Now, if you guys don't got Prop Madness, of course, I'm going to plug this one too. Again, I'm going to probably make a video later on in regards to using Prop Madness. I myself am still getting used to using it. Apparently, the more games that go on, the more data it collects, the better this site is becoming. Seeing definitely a lot of other people, influencers in the spaces actually using it. I've been seeing the charts for these on Twitter all the time. I'm like, what is the site? So definitely getting into the groove of actually using it. So now you can see it right here. A lot of Ayton's points, 50% of them come within that restricted area. 28% of them are coming in the paint right there. 16 inside that mid-range spot. The defense that the Philly, they're giving up the 27th most points inside the paint. You would kind of think that's kind of weird considering Joel Embiid, but of course Embiid's missed quite a bit of time. And even with Embiid being out there, he's still giving up opposing points to those opposing centers, things like that. So the upside is definitely going to be there for him, considering that they are giving up 27th in the amount of points that they're giving up to the opposing center. On top of that, 50% of his points are coming right there inside the paint. And they're ranked 25th versus the pick and roll man. So we know that Portland, they're going to be running a lot of pick and roll. That's going to be his primary archetype for what DeAndre Ayton gets a lot of his points from. That's one of the really cool things that I do like, that they break each player down into type of archetype, how they're scoring and things like that. That's one of those really cool factors. Now, say we want to see what does Philly rank versus that actual that player's primary role, things like that. They're ranked 26 versus that. So going over here to opponent D versus that actual position, gonna scale this down to the bottom 20 teams versus this. Looking at what he has gotten versus those bottom 20 teams. Again, we already talked about what happened in regards to that game going up against Big 1B. I understand that one. Definitely shot deterioration, things like that. But he did shoot 7 of 11 in that game, 64% from the field. And then going up against the Phoenix Sun, that right there just was not his shooting night. 3 of 13, 23%. But again, going up against those bottom teams versus the pick and roll man. 26 points versus the Spurs, 16 points versus the Pacers, 21 points going up against the Spurs in the first matchup that he actually had versus them, 20 points versus the Kings. So Philly, they're ranked down there in the bottom versus this. This is just another check in the box to tell me like, hey, DeAndre Ayton, pretty good spot. Definitely will be looking at him to go ahead and take the over on his points. Pulling him up over here on Prizepicks. I know we're going to get some goblin lines that we could probably go ahead and take. 10.5. If you're looking for just a goblin slip, just trying to build bankroll, I like that one. I take that all day. 14.5 is going to be the primary line. Definitely going to be taking out right there for the play. And then at 10.5, if you want to go ahead and build bank, that definitely is a safe play that you can go ahead and take. But going back on over to Outlier, going up to our next play that we have on the dock. Going over to Big Zoo versus the Pelicans. Now, this has been a spot I've been attacking them with opposing centers, honestly, for quite some time, especially whenever I do my builders and things like that, just because I know the center position versus the Pelicans is pretty weak. Zubac, a big body center, going up against Misik. Granted, he has some shot deterioration, things like that, but if Zoo is actually going to be on in this game, I love the upside for what he can actually bring here in the spot. Another one that's over here on the insight tab, looking at it, his insight, he has exceeded 15.5 points in 4 of his last 5 games. Definitely means that Zubac looks like he might be on a roll right there. Looking at the matchups that he's played, Golden State Warriors, going up against Tracy Jackson Davis, kind of the same size center as Misik. Going up against Memphis, this one's actually pretty good, especially Zach Edey. Zach Edey definitely has the size to match Zubac. Dallas didn't get there versus Lively and Gafford. Dallas in the first matchup got that right there, and then Utah going up against Walker Kessler. So definitely has been on a roll, going up against some decent center matchups that he's had over that. Head-to-head going up against the New Orleans Pelicans. I keep having to pause it because my kids keep coming in, man. Oh my God, get out! Close the door. Tell them to put the dog up. All right, so head-to-head matchup over Head-to-head matchup, this doesn't mean anything to me because this was last year, different team. Russell Westbrook's not there, Paul George is not there, so we're gonna throw that out the window. Don't even look at the head-to-head. That does not matter. What does matter is what do we actually have Big Zoo projected for today. So again, pulling up on line start over here for me, they have him projected at 16.9 points, 17.75 over there on the books altogether, that consensus value. So that right there is another spot that I'm definitely gonna want to be going to. And another one, I'm not gonna cover it and do the breakdown. I'm only gonna go over 4 plays. I'm going to look at also his rebounds that kind of projected for 15.5 and also 14.56 for the books consensus right there as well. That's another play you could possibly take. We do know that's definitely been a play that I have been taking versus the Pelicans is opposing center's rebounding line, just because again, that rebound matchup, that center matchup has been very well going up against them. Now, again, another site that I said you guys could check projections, and I really do stand by this whenever you are building out your prop plays and things like that. Get an idea of what the sites and stuff are projecting, because that will definitely help you guys whenever it comes down to finding decent lines that aren't traps and things like that, because these projection sites, they factor in that DVP, the minutes and all that stuff that we are not doing inside of our head. We're just looking at the match like, yeah, boom, that's good. Numberfire NBA, they have a tab over here that gives you free projections. You don't got to do anything. You don't have to sign up for anything. Just type it in, close down the little pop-up that pops up, and then if you're on your phone, you just got to scroll to find it. But if you're on the computer, you can click Control F, use the search bar to find the player. Finding Big Zoo right here, he is projected for 16.6 points according to Numberfire. Again, a good spot right there for his points. That is more than what the point line that we're currently trying to get him at that 15.5. So another site to go ahead and double check our work in regards to what we are looking at, what we're trying to find. Now, his rebound line is sitting at 12.7. Granted, maybe you might not want to take it just because that's not at least a couple of ticks above what you're wanting for the rebound line, but there is potential that he can still get that rebound. Definitely would be one that you would look towards a goblin play instead to get below that projection line right there. If you've done the research and you've looked and you've seen like, hey, I do want to play this dude's rebounds as well. All right, so I've gotten a couple of plays that I actually do like from the point tab. I'm going to go over to the assist tab to go ahead and check that out. Boom, definitely filters it out. Now I only have 9 out of the 830 insights that's going to actually give me. Focusing on one right here is going to be De'Aaron Fox. It's going to be his second game with the new interim head coach. We know that they got Mike Brown fired. Kings, they're fucking trash organization. Opposing point guards, they're ranked 14th versus the point guard position, giving up 8.6 assists over here, going up against the Dallas Mavericks. Coming down here, looking at Fox's potential assists, he's averaging 13.1 potential assists over his last 10 games. Looking at it, he definitely has been hitting those assists pretty good over his last several games. The potential assists have been there. 10 potential assists versus Detroit, just didn't convert. Versus the Lakers in that first matchup, 13 potential assists. So again, the assists, love what I'm seeing right there for that. Head to head, if we want to look at that, boom. Again, no matchups for this year, all that from last year. I'm not really too concerned right there. Focusing really on this last 10 right here. And then of course you can look at see what he's been doing at home in regards to those assists. He's cashed this in 6 out of his 10 games. Typically rule for me at least over 60%. That definitely is a better tick mark for me. So going over here to Line Star, looking up De'Aaron Fox for his assist line. What does Line Star have him projected at? Line Star has him at 7.7 assists and 6.8 over here for the Vegas books as well. So that right there, boom, all boxes are checked for De'Aaron Fox. We can go over here to Prizepicks. I know they're going to have some alt lines for him. Right now, they have him, of course, at that 6.5 assist line that we're going to be taking for our main line. But we can come down here, we can get that 4.5 assist or the 5.5 assist, either one of those right there, in case you are not liking the upside for De'Aaron Fox at that assist line. So this is one of those things in regards to if you're using like the free site, boom, they have him over here at 5.5. So maybe if you were only to use the free site, you're like, okay, I'm only going to play that 4.5 or that 5.5 assist line instead of taking that 6.5, because then that's going to be a little bit of a gamble for me if you are relying on your projection right there, using Numberfire projections and things like that. But that's the De'Aaron Fox one right there. Actually, we can actually pull up Prop Madness. We'll go over to assist. We'll go over to where the Dallas versus Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox looking at his assists. Boom, we've seen pretty good assist numbers. Let's see, Dallas are giving up about 20 assists a game. So opposing assists allowed. Gonna go ahead and take this down to the bottom 20 teams. He has hit this in 68.8% of the games, 11 out of 16 games so far this season, versus bottom ranked teams that are giving up at least 20 assists a game. Looking at it, he's averaging at least 7 assists in those games. We've already covered it for the month of December, and that's what I'm going to focus on. The role that he's been on for the month of December, he's only missed this line once out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 6 games. 1 out of 6 games for him. honestly, to me, upside is there. The potential assists, I know that they're there in all these games. He's at least having double-digit assists, except for in these 2 games that was in the early part of the season before definitely, you know, taking a back seat in a role, just figuring out the offense with DeMar DeRozan being there. So again, love the upside for De'Aaron Fox for those 6.5 assists. Definitely be the next one that I would actually go ahead and take. All right, so the last play I actually have for you guys, it's not going to be over. It's not going to be rebounds or anything like that. It's actually going to be the under on PRA. I told you guys, whenever I'm playing PRAs, I like to look towards unders and things like that for players, just because they might go out there and get a decent number of rebounds, but their points might be off or the rebounds might be off, things like that. And the one I'm going to actually focus on is going to be Lauri Markkanen for this 32.5 PRA that they have Matt going up against the Denver Nuggets. Hopefully Denver, they go out here and they can handle some business. I do expect the game to somewhat be close just because Utah does play better at home. But looking at this this chart right here, he's failed to exceed 32.5 PRA in 8 out of his last 10 home games. So looking at the defensive matchup, playing the small forward position, they're allowing roughly 20.9 points to the small forward position. They're ranked 4th and giving up 6.5 rebounds to the position, and 30th giving up 4.7 assists. So that assist one is the only one that's going to be like a little bit iffy right there for the defensive matchup. Looking at it, looking at his last couple games versus the Lakers, popped off, hit that barely 33 right there on the dot for him, and then versus New York Knicks, whatever, I don't know what the heck happened in this game, but he was able to go off. That was back in November. So looking at it over his last 10 games, we can see right here he's went under this in 70% of those games. Versus Cleveland, was able to go over. Revenge matchup, going up against a former team, dropped 26 points in that game. Versus Detroit, it's Detroit, 42 PRA in that game. And of course, that Lakers game right there is there as well. Looking at the home games over his last 10, though, again, he's only gone over this in 2 out of the 10 home games that they played. So going over to Line Star, last thing that I like to do is go ahead and just check what is the projection that I actually have for him on today. 32.5 is the PRA, 30.8 is the PRA that Line Star has projected, and 27.7 is the PRA that the Vegas consensus books has him at. So that's another play that I will go over here to Prize Picks. I'll go over to Lauri Markkanen. Boom. 32.5, take the under, easy day, bam. All right, guys, that's going to be the plays right there for you. Pretty much, we got Lauri Markkanen for the under on his PRA. We got De'Aaron Fox for the over of his 6.5 assists. We have Big Zoo for the over on his, I want to say it was 15 points, right? Big Zubac for over on the 15.5 points that he has. And last but not least, DeAndre Ayton on the over for his 14.5 points. That's 4 plays that you can go ahead and start out the rest of your slip for today. If you guys are playing those 5-6 slips over here, the 5 or 6 flex slips over here on Prize Picks, hopefully you guys got some insight and some value from this video. Definitely let me know down in the comment section if you guys enjoyed this. We'll try to make a little bit shorter video next time whenever I do actually cover some props. Good luck to everybody. Talk to me down in the comment section. Peace.